welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy. And with me tonight, we've got Melissa Barker, the archive lady. Hey, Melissa.
Hello, everybody.
Glad you're here. And we have our wonderful, wonderful Dr. Shelley Murphy, our family tree girl. Who
it's been rough today, ladies.
It's been a rough day for her, busy day for her. We are coming to you on Juneteenth, and we just at GenFriends wanted to get together and just wish everybody a happy Juneteenth and ask Shelley, who's been a busy, busy, busy lady, doing all sorts of interviews and talking about Juneteenth and everything else today, the African American Museum opening, which we will do a special show on once it's open.
Yes.
But we thought, let's get Shelley to come on and talk to us a little bit about Juneteenth, and so we can acknowledge this day. So take it away, Shelley.
Well, I'm actually going to turn the tides on you guys, and I want you guys, let's talk about Juneteenth.
All right.
And the significance. I myself recognize it as the federal holiday, but there is meanings for it and why it's called Juneteenth in the whole 9 yards. Yeah. So I'm going to let Melissa share that part of it. And because I don't have ties to Texas, but I do overall have ties to enslaved folks and so forth. So Melissa.
I don't have any ties to Texas either. And I don't have any African-American ancestry. However, Juneteenth is a very important, I would say holiday, but it's just more than a holiday. It is important to all of us. But especially important to the African-American community and to the enslaved ancestors that many, many people have. And so it is the commemorating of the emancipation of the enslaved African-Americans. And it actually derives its name from combining June and 19th. So we get Juneteenth, which I thought was pretty clever.
Yeah.
It's also a celebration on the anniversary of the order by Major General Gordon Granger, which is a new name to me, proclaiming freedom for enslaved people in Texas on June the 19th, 1865.
So I'm going to stop you right there. Isn't that a little late for them to be known about freedom? And that's another significant thing. So I'll back it up a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. They
didn't get notification at the end of the Civil War.
Right. Well, it's
took
not
a while
like we had
news.
Right.
For news to
we didn't
get
have a 24-hour news cycle. And so, and I think a lot of that was done on purpose.
Absolutely.
It was done on purpose. And so they were some of the last or the last to know in Galveston. And so I know that they've been having celebrations there. It's been a holiday there for years. And so that's, parades and all sorts of different things. So they've had it going on. They understood the significance a long time ago before it became a national. And I was reading something today that said, a lot of the African Americans are celebrating it there in Texas and in Galveston. And then after World War II, as people started moving out, that's word of this specific day and the celebration and what it meant started spreading throughout the United States. And so there's little pockets of places that knew about it, but I didn't know anything about it. It's not something that was taught to me in my history classes, which is really sad. And so
I wonder if it was taught in Texas. I know I live in Tennessee, and so we didn't hear anything about it here.
It was taught in Galveston, but I don't know about the rest.
So Shelley, I'm going to ask you a question. How long, when did they start this push for a federal holiday to be federally recognized? And then how long did it take them to get it?
Well, I know Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. And I've been watching some things coming up. There's a nice documentary that's been airing on PBS the last couple of days. And I believe she put forth the bill. And it was several years. I don't know the time frame, without looking that up. But the point was, Evanston, Illinois is a key point in about some of this information, because it was recognizing, of course, Juneteenth that's being there, but then you're talking about what Evanston did within the last couple years, and that was looking at Juneteenth, but also looking at the discussion and putting forth a state type bill regarding reparations. So let's jump back to Juneteenth. So I watched the representative, and they're talking about Juneteenth, talking about what Evanston, Illinois did and everything. And that's also the home of Northwestern University, which has probably got the top journalism school in the country. But when we're talking about that time frame, I'm not sure exactly when it was. But when I think about Juneteenth, I think about the education piece of that. And like you said, people didn't know. It's part of American history now. And people need to know that Galveston didn't tell the enslaved that they were now free. And so that right there creates a problem, because you have a segment of a population that's still enslaved and they don't know what's going on all around them. And so it's a great opportunity now that we do have it as a federal holiday, that number one, it's a time for education and reflection on that history. And you can see celebrating Juneteenth, a lot of it is the news of becoming free, what's happening, it's spread. It's not just about Texas now. You know, it's now it's American history. And it's being counted as a federal holiday. So, and again, what happens with all these activities is they're seeing a lot of the cultural things. And I think about South Carolina and the Gullah Geechee and all of those things in different cultures throughout the South, you know. And I'm not saying just slavery was in the South, because it wasn't, as Judy is talking about. You know, Judy Russell teaches at Maggie, and she teaches a class on slavery in the North. And so again, coming back to Juneteenth, I think it's also an opportunity for some advocacy and an awareness more on the history as well. So again, I didn't learn about it growing up. I learned about it as being a genealogist. And when I first learned about it was my brother's mother-in-law's best friend was from Galveston, and she was, you know, an advocate and this, that, and other for them recognizing that holiday, you know, several years ago. She's passed now, probably maybe 10 years, but she passed in her 90s and stuff. And I'm trying to recall her name right now. I didn't know her.
You've had a long day. It's okay.
Yeah, I knew of her work with the Galveston area community and stuff. So I'm going to turn it over.
I think it's, you know, and this is a perfect example of what you've just said. And it interweaves in with the genealogist and family history, because if we don't tell our stories, if we don't continue to share our history, it'll be just like that. Our children won't grow up knowing it. Our grandchildren won't grow up knowing it, whether that's our personal family history, our local history. And so this is a perfect example of that. And I'm really glad that this has come to the forefront in recent years. And now that we all can know about it, because it's very important. I mean, it's just a very important piece of our history. And when I say our history, even though I don't have African American, it's our history. You know, it's the human being history, and it should be recognized.
Yes. Now, I was reading a little bit, and it said, I don't know if this is true or not, because, you know, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, but it said that traditionally, too, red drinks are part of the party. And so I wore my red shirt. So
you remember High on the Hog?
It said, well, it said strawberry, like strawberry drinks, you know, any red soda pop, anything red is kind of part of the celebration. So I thought, well, I'll put on my red shirt and be part of the celebration.
And again, that documentary, that 4-series called High on the Hog. And it was, I want to say it was on Netflix, but don't quote me here. But anyway, they address that when they're talking about culture and the food. And recognizing Juneteenth in that whole series by Stephen Shatterwhite. He was the host, and he had went over to Benin and came in. Everything was through South Carolina, but he also hit into Texas when he came back to the States and everything. But they addressed about the red and all the different meanings through Juneteenth. And so High on the Hog is a good, if people can watch that series, they'll get even more than what we're mentioning here. And a red velvet cake was something that was
Yes. Well, and I know that in my little community of Myrtle Beach, there's been things going on all day for Juneteenth, which I think is wonderful. And so I think all around the country, there have been Juneteenth celebrations that have been going on throughout the weekend and through today, it's just an amazing thing that we can honor and celebrate history. Like Melissa was saying, it's our history. It belongs to all of us. And, when we honor what happened then, we're honoring all those ancestors. And I think that that's a wonderful thing as well.
And then they're not forgotten.
I mean, I can't imagine being the last. Can you imagine? You're the last group of people to know that you're free. I mean,
I can't imagine.
It's an amazing story. It's an amazing story.
It's hard to even understand. But I also think of when doing slave era research predominantly, I think about when freedom did come, some people probably had never been off that plantation.
Exactly.
Not even knowing, and this is why I love the Freedmen Bureau records so much. Right after the war ending, and it was a place for people to go get assistance.
Yes.
And I think of the chaos. I can't even fathom what was going on. But then you think about the folks, I'm going to say, that got left behind in Galvin's. And then them coming, and finding out after that. So I'm elated that it's celebrated across the country. I think 26 states recognize it as a federal holiday, and the other states don't. But hopefully that will change.
That will come. Yeah,
I think it will. It will. Yeah, they're federal employees. They probably took some of the folks in the different states probably got that holiday.
Exactly.
But I love the fact that it's out there and children are learning about this.
Yes, exactly.
Educational component.
Right, because I have a daughter that said, "Why didn't I ever learn about this in school?" And I said, "Honey, I didn't learn about it in school. That's the problem.
Learn about it in school either." Yeah. So great topic, and I'm glad it's being brought up today.
And I'm glad, Shelley, that you have a minute to come and talk to us after your busy day. And for people wondering why we keep mentioning, I think we said at the beginning that your videos for the African American Museum came out we'll post those links now. And when we do our special on the museum opening in a couple of weeks, but you made the big time today on TV, CNN and the Today Show.
Maybe I'll make it 10 minutes since there was two different
5 minutes of fame
clips.
Right. So you did a fabulous job. You represented everybody well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And
I was nervous.
I'm sure you were nervous, but you didn't come across nervous. No. You came across, your daughter posted the links and she said, "I love my mama and she don't play." I said, "No, she doesn't." It was great. She
was there for the Today Show. Yeah. She had came and was there for the Today Show. Yeah. And she said, "You did good." And I said,
"You really did. You really did." So happy Juneteenth to everybody. To everybody, and let's just hope that the ball's rolling and it'll just continue to get bigger and bigger. And
absolutely.
Each year the celebrations will get bigger and better. So thank you for taking some time out. We just wanted to make sure everybody knew we were recognizing this holiday. We're excited for it. And we invited Shelley on, although she's exhausted, and we love you. We're so glad that you came on. And so
it's got a whole thing on Juneteenth basically it's big concert till 11 o'clock. So people will be able to replay that.
Oh, wonderful.
And watch the concert going on, all in recognition of Juneteenth.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is so wonderful. I'm just,
That's
thank
another
you.
link for the website.
And that was, yeah, you'll have to help me find that one. And so
Yes.
just on CNN. Okay, on CNN. All right, people.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shelley.
Have a good
Thank you,
evening.
Shelley.
Bye, everybody, and happy
Bye-bye.
weekend. We will see you next time on Gen Friends. Bye, everybody.